These are critical stakeholders in the civic space in Nigeria. They are made up of members of non governmental organizations, media practitioners, professional bodies, development organizations, and community based organizations, among others. They converge in Abuja, Nigeria's capital city, to review laws and policies impending on the Nigerian civic space and freedom. Convener and Executive Director, Global Rights, Abiodun Bayowu, in her presentation said the Nigerian government in recent times has over 400 laws that infringe on the rights and dignity of the human person.
The issues that are going on in Nigeria are they're interesting and they're very clear. So that you have, for instance, um, incidents of infractions. You have for press freedom 120, 112 infractions in a period of 5 years. Freedom of assembly and association 148 infractions, or at least 148 infractions. Freedom of expression at least 124 infractions. Digital closure and surveillance at least 19 infractions. Anti-money laundering and counter-financing of terrorism at least 11 infractions. Anti-NGO bills and restrictive laws at least 8 of them. And of course, political restrictions at least 24 of them in a period of just 5 years. It is constricting our civic space. It is taking away the power of the people to self-govern, to determine the type of society that they have.
Other participants agree that the federal government seek for avenues to gag freedom of expression and association by hiding under the excuse of the present security challenges bedeviling Nigeria.
Judiciary has so far not responded to the need of our people, and I think it is important that we draw that attention to them, that closing the digital space will also affect the judiciary. Because if they finish with the civil society and with the labor and all the groups, then the judiciary will be emasculated. So I think the judiciary has a role to play to ensure that any draconian law is set aside. For instance, we've seen Cybercrime Act that provides in section 24 that you cannot tweet or use social media or digital means to criticize government. We've seen now what they call a policy paper on IT use. We've seen NBC Act, Nigerian Broadcasting Commission Act, that restricts the media to broadcast the truth, facts. If the facts are against government, then NBC will censor you as a media house. What are the judiciary doing to set aside these laws? We've seen CAMA, Company and Alarm Matters Act, that provides that civil society must report to a government institution. Where does that happen? And yet judiciary is not saying anything about it. I think they have a role to play. Not just judiciary, also the whole legal community, especially the Nigerian Bar Association. The lawyers have a social responsibility to ensure that these laws are made away with.
I think, first of all, in terms of the laws, particularly draconian laws, it's important to have them challenged, and ideally before the law courts, you know. That's one dimension to it in terms of the draconian provisions, in the hope that they can be struck down by the judiciary for the challenges that they portend, you know, for the Nigerian populace. But linked to that is also to have a concerted level of advocacy, you know, that connects the courtroom advocacy with the court of public opinion, because people need to also understand what is being done to address some of these challenges and also plug in, and then also enable the constituents, you know, as the National Assembly likes to say, you know, to understand that they are elected representatives, particularly in context where some of those laws were enacted in the current assembly. This is what they've done to further basically marginalize the people and then abuse the people's rights. And to the extent that many of them may be in the ballot, or maybe on the ballot for 2023, understand that these are not the kinds of people that they want to represent them come 2023. So that then takes the connection of what is happening in the courtroom to the court of public opinion and links it with preparations for 2023.
The meeting is one among many series of activities of global rights to pursue rights of individuals and organizations. Emmanuel Onu, News 24.